My name is Bailey Drexler, a student at Xavier University and an intern at the Center for the Study of the American Dream. And today I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri with Chris Miller of the Mission Center.
My background is in community organizing, and so the Mission Center came about because of my experience working with low-income folks at the grassroots who were working on a variety of different issues in their communities, and we were always trying to build them into a more sustainable infrastructure, so we were building nonprofits around their mission. And so folks don't get into nonprofit work because they want to do accounting, because they want to do health insurance, because they care about human resource management. And so there was a dysfunction, there was a lack of efficiencies, lack of economies of scale. All these organizations were doing this one-off. And so we came about with a business model that sought to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of nonprofit organizations by creating a company that does economies of scale in their back office operations.
What do you consider either personally or as part of the Mission Center's goals to be the American Dream?
I'll take it from a generational perspective.
Okay.
I'm a millennial, and I think that the American Dream is very much means something different to those of us that were graduated after the year 2000. Very specifically, and kind of the ethos of the Mission Center is the idea of doing good while doing well. So the American Dream may have been, I can't speak for other generations, but my understanding of it from history was, essentially it's about prospering, it's about having the house and multiple cars, and very much tilted towards the financial as an indicator of success. And I think that for my generation, for our generation, it's much more of being comfortable, right? We all want to have our car, but it doesn't need to be a BMW. I'm very happy with my 2001 Honda Accord with 255,000 miles on it. So it's that balance between success financially, comfortable, and sustainability, all being an impactful role in a positive way.
How do you think that your work with nonprofits has kind of transformed your own American dream, maybe away from wealth, or transformed it into something different?
Well, when I graduated college, or when I was in college, I should say, I thought I was going to be a lawyer, and I was going to make a lot of money doing that, and that seemed like a very reasonable and good goal for my life. I was very fortunate that I ended up, by a series of rather serendipitous events, landing within a nonprofit organization as a community organizer, which was a term I'd never even heard of until I got the job. And that fundamentally changed my orientation. Working with low-income folks in rural communities who are working 2 or 3 jobs and then volunteering 30 or 40 hours a week on behalf of a new nonprofit, a new mission, is inspirational and fundamentally changed my orientation for how is it that I'm going to spend the rest of my life.
How do you think that the Mission Center plays a role in either achieving your personal American dream or helping others achieve their American dream?
Well, if we're holding the assumption that part of the American dream is impacting society in a positive way, that's what nonprofits do. And so the ability to assist our organizations, the Mission Center, the name comes from the idea of putting mission back in the center of their work. So social workers, community organizers, teachers, they don't get into nonprofit work because they want to do HR or accounting or health insurance. So allowing them to focus on what it is that they are most passionate about, I think helps them realize their own American dreams. And then I would also say that nonprofit organizations are the entities within this country that are allowing others and more marginalized individuals, folks that didn't go to the right high school, to live into their own American dream.
Have you faced any or seen any barriers to the American dream, either for yourself or others?
I'm relatively privileged. My parents were both public school teachers, middle class, white. So for me, the barriers to our success have really been economic access to capital, the ability to generate the resources we need to kind of grow our mission, grow what we do. For others, I would certainly say, and I think very much when we talk about immigrant populations, undocumented, there are very real barriers to their ability to achieve the American dream.
And having kind of talked about how they do face barriers, what do you think are the main components that are necessary to be able to achieve the dream? What do you need to have first before you can pursue it?
Resources. Access to education. Very basic things that I can't imagine denying any human being, but yet we do. In my world, capital is a very important thing. So, again, access to resources, the ability to get loans or to have networks of friends and families that are able to invest in our big ideas that help us as individual entrepreneurs live into the American dream.
What advice do you have for other people who want to be involved in nonprofits and may have an economic barrier to being able to either found one or be a part of one? What advice do you have to them for getting involved?
I think one thing would be to trust your gut. When we talk about the old American dream, it was a fairly easy way to assess whether you were successful. Have you made a lot of money?
Yeah.
Have you been able to buy the house you want? Working in nonprofits, our goals, our measures of success are much more intangible. So how do you measure justice and equality and fairness? And so trusting your gut and the impacts that you're having in the world, I think, is really critical.